What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Do Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is not a victory Monday. It's probably a sad face Monday. But while we can find some things to definitely point out that could have went better yesterday, and yes, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, we've got some unconfirmed fully information in regards to a couple of Detroit Lions players. My anticipation is probably at today's presser we'll get full confirmation on these details. We'll dive into that. I'm going to give you some negative Nanny thoughts. I'm also going to give you some positive Pete thoughts on all of the above. Where you're going to find the light at the end of the tunnel with some of our injury situations. And hey, while we can definitely point out some stuff that we're going to have raised eyebrows about, we can also try to have a look at the positive side of all that. So before we get into all of the above topics and the good stuff, the bad stuff, the in-between stuff, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push for 12,000 subs, and we'll just say 170 subs away from it, something like that. So if you can help out, that would be great. Also, if you're enjoying the content of the channel and the video, and perhaps you even like Mountain Dew, whatever it may be, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, that like button. As you guys probably know, helps out the channel exponentially. We try to get every episode between 2 to 300 to 459 billion thumbs up or likes. And if we could hit 455 billion, you know what? That's going to be a pretty watched video. All right, and last but never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, or to be fair, the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You now see my number on the screen, 269-998-2384. If you're in Michigan, I can help you directly. If you're outside of Michigan, I can still work with you, try to help you out on some things. Make sure you don't step on any landmines, etc. Let me use over 30 years of experience in the industry to save you some time, save you some money, save you some hassle. So go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. And with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to our first segment of the day. As you probably know, that is 5 Headlines Now. All right, 5 headlines now, and unfortunately, they're maybe not all the most glorious of headlines now. Detroit Lions determined not to let rock bottom performance snowball. Injuries and all. Jared Ramsey, the Detroit Free Press with this one. Ramsey's not wrong. Being a coach, here's what I would say. Anytime you lose a game, thankfully I haven't lost many in my career, but whenever you do, don't let one become two. The Lions are going to be fans of the Chicago Bears tonight. I'm anticipating. They're going to be sitting there cheering them on, hoping they can beat the Minnesota Vikings, because obviously that helps the Detroit Lions. After that, though, you are no longer a fan of the Chicago Bears. So next week, you've got to go into Chicago, and you're going to have to take care of business. You win that game, you further exacerbate the situation confronting the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings win tonight. Yes, they have the same record, but they lose the tiebreaker because the Lions have beaten them so far. It does appear that it's going to come on down to that final Week 18 game. That could be, though, if the Lions win next week and the Green Bay Packers beat the Minnesota Vikings, then you know what? Maybe that helps remove some of the stress from the situation. We'll deal with that 1 week at a time, one game at a time for the Lions. But as we mentioned at the post-game show yesterday, it's now a 3-game sprint to the finish line. Lions win out, they will be the NFC North champs, and they will be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Lions lose 1 or 2 more games, then you know what? Things could drastically change. They could go to being a wild card team, not even hosting a playoff game. That's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. All right, Detroit Lions fans can stay in a new Honolulu Blue touchdown suite at this Up North resort. And yeah, let me bring that up on the screen. Hey, I tried to make sure not everything was doom and gloom today. Want to try to bring something nice to you. So If you're a Detroit Lions fan and you're apparently going up north to the Traverse City area, yes, you can stay, as you see it on the screen, in this hotel suite. It is all set up for the Lions. This is the Grand Traverse City Resort near Traverse City has unveiled its new touchdown suite. So if you are interested in such things, go ahead and check it out. Don't know if it would compel me to go stay up there if I wasn't already going up there. But if you are going up there, maybe you want to stay in the Detroit Lions suite. Vikings clinch a playoff berth, can catch the Lions with a win versus the Bears on Monday night. Star Tribune, what do you expect? Minnesota Vikings fans were probably rejoicing. And to be fair, Philadelphia Eagles fans were also rejoicing that the Detroit Lions lost yesterday. But it is what it is. Like we already said in this episode, you got a 3-game race to the finish line. It's whoever crossed that finish line, probably 3-0, that's going to win the number 1 seed, and maybe in the Minnesota Vikings case, the NFC North. But Lions are obviously going to do their best to make sure that doesn't happen. Sorry, I got a big fly now all of a sudden invading my screen. Detroit Lions reaction. This is going to make a heck of a Super Bowl for 2025 by Marlo Alter of the Detroit Free Press. And I think you're right. If everybody nationally was correct that this is a Super Bowl preview, that this is this, that, and the other thing, that you know what, you're probably going to enjoy the Super Bowl when it is the Buffalo Bills versus the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a lot of offense. It's going to be a lot of stress for defensive coordinators and defensive staffs. Both teams are beat up on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, we'll get into some stuff during the main topic of the day on this topic, so we'll save some of that for that. Lions get a reality check from the Buffalo Bills. How they respond to this will determine their season. This is from the New York Times, and you can see everybody's kind of going with some similar headlines here. Hey, I think at the start of the training camp, if I would have told you with 3 weeks left in the season, the Lions would be 12-2, I think most fans, I'll even say 99.9% of us, would have been, man, that sounds awesome. It's unfortunate that there are a couple other teams also with that same record, but it is what it is. You got some real good teams in the NFC. You got some teams that are just a level below, and then you got some teams that are much below. Lions' fortunes are going to be tied, I believe, to their defense and the development in this last month of some of their key younger players. And again, we'll go in this more debate in the main topic of the day, but it is what it is. Emotionally, I'm sure the Lions feel a little down. They feel a little frustrated. There were some real good things that came out of yesterday. Let's talk about the offense. While the running game, and I know I mentioned it during the live cast and then the post-game show yesterday, if I'm Ben Johnson, I've got to have a face-to-face, look in the mirror type moment here, because your passing attack is a chef's kiss. Your running attack has become non-existent for about a month now. Maybe it's 3 weeks, whatever it is. But think back to the Green Bay Packers game. Think back to that Chicago Bears game. Did the running game really do much in any of those games, including yesterday? At least from my thoughts, the answer is no. Some of it is schematic. Some of it is talent. And while there is some real good talent on this Detroit Lions offensive line, I've been talking about it for, I feel like 2 months or so now, that Graham Glasgow is starting to worry me. And you know what? After reviewing the film this morning of last night's game, that worry level has grown quite a bit. He's getting bully balled out there by a lot of people, and I don't see a situation happening where it's going to improve. Maybe the Lions have kind of already been aware of this and why we've seen Christian Mahogany now be active for a while. I've been speculating for some time since he had mono, went through the 21-day recovery window or evaluation period, I should say, for NFL players, and the fact that they didn't put him on IR right there, to me, and just you can have different thoughts, to me that spoke volumes about the kid's talent and ability levels. Could it be that he is going to be a replacement there? I don't know, but they've got to have him on the active roster for a reason versus IRing him. And Graham Glasgow, watching a lot of the stuff. So what I'm seeing on film, you guys can let me know your thoughts. The Lions try to run to the right side almost every time there's a key down. I get it. Zettler's playing great. I mean, he is playing Pro Bowl level football and maybe one of the top 1, 2, or 3 guards in all of football. Penei Sewell, I don't probably have to go into deep details with him. I still am of the mindset, and I know we've talked about it before, Frank the Tank Ragnow, I think he's still playing very injured with that pec muscle, and he's just worrying, being a warrior and going through it, doing what he can. And I think you can see with some of his hand placement, when you watch it slow on film, I think he's still struggling with it. Graham Glasgow, it's not an injury situation. I just don't think he's got it. And I think he's getting bullied, doubled, and knocked down way too much. This isn't just on passing plays. Sorry, that fly is still trying to invade my screen. But it's on running plays, and it's more noticeable. So we'll talk about that more, but Ben Johnson is going to have to get this running game back on track. Otherwise, man, you're just putting so much stress on that passing attack. All right, go into all that later. Let's get over to, man, this fly just won't leave me alone, man. He wants to be on air, I guess. He wants to be a part of the Duke crew. All right, let's go over to the main topic of the day, and hopefully the fly will just go away. Main topic of the day. If you're a Lions fan, you probably got to have some level of real worry at this point in regards to some of the injuries. Let's start with Dorsey because that's the most obvious one. I don't think you're going to have to be a medical doctor to say this dude's done for the year. It's unfortunate that friendly fire took him out, and as simple as just your foot placing in the wrong place at the wrong time. You could see the foot go sideways. I mean, that thing's a complete break, and it's probably going to be a long recovery process for him. If he's back by training camp next year, I'd say he's damn lucky because that looked like a major break to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if some ligaments are involved, among other things. The nice part for the Lions is Rakestraw should be back pretty quick. Emmanuel Mosley's back, been deactivated or unavailable, or whatever you want to say, non-active for the last 3 games. My guess is, here's his a golden opportunity. The more troubling part, though, is going to be Carlton Davis. While he was originally listed out with a jaw injury, you heard MCDC in the post-game presser say he believes that it's possible both he and Aleem McNeil might miss the rest of the season. Could be, season-ending injuries. I am not privy to what could be going on with Carlton Davis in his jaw that would keep a cornerback out for the rest of the season. So the only thing I can think of is that he broke it, and that I get it. If you've got a broken jaw, they got to let that thing heal because you do, outside of playing football, you do have to eat and do other things the rest of your life, and that's going to be a long, impactful thing. Hopefully, he's good to go. He's the one I've got hope for. Unfortunately, with Aleem McNeil, that's probably going to be the more worrisome one for most Lions fans. You could see him on the replay going around, and you just saw the knee go. You could see him start hopping. He tried to walk off the field. He had to keep stopping every 3 to 4 feet. I don't know for sure, but just watching it and having been a coach and reporter for a gajillion years, I would say there's probably some ligament issues there if you watch him get off and the way he was flexing. And also on the sidelines, watching where the medical staff were paying attention to, my guess is he's done something to some ligaments. Probably not a long-term thing, but probably long enough for the season. With that being said, this already decimated Detroit Lions defense from injuries. May have just suffered 2 real big ones because you know what? You talk about the next man up and the next man up and the next man up. At some point, you've gone through quite a few guys. The positive side, while I don't want to be all Debbie Downer about this, let's assume for now the worst that Carlton Davis is out. Let's hope that Emmanuel Mosley and the Rakestraw can kind of come in and help out. Mosley's obviously been a great player for years for the San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, it's also been years since he's really played meaningful football at the NFL level since he's been injured a gajillion times. With Rakestraw, yes, he's young, he's unproven, he's a rookie. He's going to get eaten alive, I guess you could say, by NFL receivers, just like any cornerback who's a rookie in the league will. With a few rare exceptions, I get it. Everybody's going to say Sauce Gardner or whatever. But you know what? The 99% of the time, rookie corners don't do well. Hopefully, Rakestraw can rise to the occasion. When it comes to Aleem McNeil, the nice part is in recent weeks, with him out, DJ Reader out, etc., you've seen Miles Adam get some play. You also see Broderick Martin get some play. They were both healthy scratches yesterday. Here's your opportunity, guys. You're going to have to step on up. If McNeil is out for some length of time, you're going to have to hold that line. They're going to be a little bit fresher. McNeil he's one of the best defensive tackles, the interior defensive tackles in the NFL right now. I would say he's somewhere between, 8 and 5, somewhere in that range. The 5 guys ahead of him are dang good, though. I would say that, and we saw one of them yesterday. But the Lions, they have an opportunity here. It is not all doom and gloom. It is a horrible situation, what's going on in the defense, and you're going to have to, as a coach, find ways to overcome that challenge. With all that being said, I was going to go on a rant today and make it to the main topic of the day about Aaron Glenn's defense. I went into that game yesterday. We talked about it on the Duke crew for days about what my anticipations were for this defense to try to contain or limit Josh Allen. And watching it live, I was like, man, what in the heck is going on here? We're just letting him do whatever he wants to do. We're not limiting him at all. I think I used the analogy yesterday. As a basketball coach, my thought is on defense, I'm not going to let you dribble, pass, and shoot. I'm going to take away one or two of those options from you. Try to make you, somewhat one-dimensional. And I really thought Aaron Glenn, his style of play, his style of coaching, I should say, we're going to come out and say, hey, we're going to take half the field away from you. We're going to limit so you can't do just everything. You can't just read the defense. You can't just, throw the ball. You can't just run the ball. None of that happened. And I wanted to wait to watch the replay to confirm it. Aaron Glenn plays as vanilla a defense as he could. And I would say most NFL quarterbacks, if you have some escapability, are going to salivate at what defense we threw out there yesterday, because you're not taking anything away from the quarterback. The intermediate routes weren't taken away. The deep routes weren't taken away. The middle of the field wasn't taken away. The sidelines weren't taken away. Your ability to run the ball wasn't taken away. I mean, you get it. You're Josh Allen, and you're the MVP potentially of the league. You're a mobile quarterback. What did we limit on defense? And again, that's a schematic thing. That's not a personnel thing. And I think Aaron Glenn, you would almost, one of you in the Duke crew came up to me and said, you know what? He was doing that intentionally to try to keep information away from the Bills for the Super Bowl. I'd believe it, because that game plan was that bad, in my humble opinion. And it's hard for me to say that about another coach, because I don't ever want to talk jazz about a coach. But if you told me, if you one of you guys put an elbow on me and said, yeah, we're just kind of playing dumb this game to keep it safe for the Super Bowl, I'd 100% believe it, because that game plan sucked. And I'm like, who came up with this? It had to be like a third grade football coach, because there's nothing where I saw any of our players being put in an advantageous situation for them. At no point, in my humble opinion, did we limit him in any way, shape, or form. Take away half the field, take away the middle of the field. I'm not going to go through it all day long, but you guys get it. All right, Duke crew, what say you guys? I feel like I've given you a little bit of a talk here, but yeah, that game plan, I'm going to watch it again probably one more time and try to figure out what the heck were we trying to do, because I didn't see any speed down the field. I really thought, man, we're going to utilize all this new speed we've acquired at the linebacker position, etc., and try to go after Allen, take away cutback lanes from the running game, because the Bills clearly do that. It wasn't just yesterday. This wasn't a new thing with them pulling tackles or guards and going misdirection. They do that fairly regularly. That's why I thought we were going to shoot the gaps with some speed and cause some issues for anybody who wants to pull. You want to pull somebody from here to here, you're now leaving a lane vacant for somebody who's aggressive to go after and fill in and take away a cutback or a quarterback, etc. And none of that happened. I mean, some basic level football defensive terminology and plays were not even used yesterday, in my humble opinion. So let's see what you guys have to say, Duke Crew. I'm sure a bunch of you guys rewatched the game and it came up with thoughts, but yeah, I'll say the running game for the Detroit Lions needs to be fixed, and quickly. Otherwise, Jared Goff and that offensive line are probably going to get blown up at some point, and somebody's going to get hurt there, because you've got to balance that offense. The defense, I've already gone on a bit of a rant about it. I'll just say this: on a scale 1 to 10, that game plan was a negative 4,000. It was terrible, in my opinion. Let's see, JDC, morning all, back at you. Jason, minor setback, play them 10 times and we would win half those games. Yeah, I'll go with that. Heal up, win out, move forward, Superdome or bust. I'll concur with all the above, my friend. Jason, what up, Eye of Destiny? We'll find out what the Eye has to say. Jason, did any of our backups stand out to you, Coach? Definitely not on defense. But again, I'm just trying to be fair to all involved. That game plan, I have a hard time making heads or tail of it. I think we've acquired some new talent, and yes, it's going to be hard to replicate as poor of a performance as he had yesterday. I guess as far as maybe not a backup, but I do think Terrion Arnold played pretty dang well yesterday. Watching a lot of his stuff, wasn't perfect, but I don't think you're ever going to get perfect from a rookie cornerback. But all I want to see is that it's clearly getting better. Zadarius Smith, not a backup, but I did like a lot of stuff I saw out of him. You could see what they were trying to do to certain degrees with him. It's hard for me to be passive as a coach, because I'm a firm believer, if you're passive, you're letting the other person dictate exactly what they want to do. You're not denying them anything. I'm a very aggressive coach, and I know a few of you guys have come out and watched games. maybe over the top, aggressive at times. But I know this: my teams are going to limit what you can and can't do, both offensively and defensively. And I just didn't see anything like that yesterday out of our defense. Let's see, Papa, we should overcome this challenge. I think we shall. I think we shall indeed. William, Iowa, everyone is upset about defense, but that's a few starters and rest third stringers and practice squad. What I'm upset about is Bills getting away with hitting out of bounds and taunting. Yeah, the taunting part, if it's at least the one I'm thinking of, William, is, oh gosh, who was it? I don't even remember who was in coverage. I want to say it was Kirby Joseph and somebody else. And yeah, the tight end gets it and does the gun salute. My problem is you're coming down at the NFL about the gun thing, and you're allowed that. He points right at both of them and does that and then points that way. They didn't call that. And yes, the hit out of bounds. I know Romo mentioned it. I think Jim Nantz did too. That was clearly out of bounds. I mean, it wasn't like, man, he's on the line. He was probably a good 2-3 yards out of bounds when that happened. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's see, JDC, Jason Berry, just keeping the eye on the Super Bowl prize. Go Lions, 100%, my friend. Voltron Force, good morning. Do we know for sure about Davis and McNeil? Dorsey, I understood, is done. Yeah, Dorsey, I think anybody who's, as long as you got eyes, you can see he's not coming back. They're not going to tape that one up. As far as the rest, I can only offer you my thoughts. We'll get confirmation. My anticipation is later today. They'll probably did an MRI on it yesterday, or maybe they go down, wait for some swelling to go down and do it this morning. So, noon or whatever later today, we'll probably get confirmation one way or the other. See, so small. I hope McNeil is good, but that replay didn't look promising. Praying he's out only a week or two. It could be possible that maybe he just stressed or strained some ligaments pretty dang good. But to me, I'm basing a lot of my opinion on what you see in the replay, but also his reaction. To me, especially when it's heated emotional reactions, people don't hide things. They reveal what they're thinking. He's probably, in my opinion, aware of something happened to his knee there, really upset about it. I get these guys all love each other. That's one thing we can all say as Detroit Lions fans. These guys want to win. They want to play for each other. It really is a family, a culture, a brotherhood, if you want. That's why I really love watching this team and rooting them on. So we'll wait and see later today. Mr. Nico, good morning, crew. I'll take this loss now instead of in the playoffs. I concur. MCDC made bad calls like we did against the Bucs. Here's our sign to open up the checkbook. Those problems can be fixed. One pride. I'll go with that. 100%. Good to see you, my friend, this morning. JDC, injury gods, I despise you. You're probably not the only one in case. Quentin, great salutations. We can't panic about that game. Bills are in the Super Bowl hunt, and dang good. We win a lot of good games was due to drop one. Yeah, you're not going to win every game. I mean, it's great if you do, but law of averages come into play. Two teams are about even. Eventually, you are going to be on the wrong side of that coin. David, let's see. Good morning, Duke Crew and Coach. I have never seen so many injuries on one side of the ball for a team. It's just insane. What the heck is going on? I would say, if and this is something they're not going to do in season, but once the season is over, once we host that Lombardi Trophy, you're probably spending some time looking at the conditioning staff for the defensive side of the ball. The fact that it's only happening on one side of the ball is the more intriguing, I guess it would be the good way to put it for me, aspect of things. And I would probably want to review all aspects of it. Maybe find something to improve upon, etc. I'd say Detroit D, Green Sanitation, back at you, my friend. Good to see you as always this morning. Pat, at this point, I'm just hoping Chicago beats the Vikings tonight and we can beat Chicago. I just don't know if we can stop anyone on defense. It's going to be one of the big questions because we got Caleb Williams next week, mobile quarterback, big arm. You got Brock Purdy, and I get the 49ers maybe donezo at that point. Purdy's been exposed a little bit this year, but at this point, if I'm the Lions, your defense is so mauled up. You can't overlook anybody, and then the big one will be Darnold and the Vikings on Week 18. Let's see, Art. Maybe it's a good thing to get this bad game out of the way. Now we just need to get down to brass taxes. Yeah, get back on track, 100%, my friend. Just greetings and salutations all at Detroit D. Same to you, Coach D. Give us some good news. I need it today. The good news is, let's assume it's doom and gloom for Carlton Davis and Lee McNeil. The tough part for me there is I think from a schematic standpoint, it's going to be easier, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's probably going to be easier to replicate a Lee McNeil with Myles Garrett and Broderick Martin and whoever, Pat O'Connor or whatever, than it is going to be to replicate Carlton Davis, just because you're asking those corners and the secondary to be in man-to-man coverage so much. Finding somebody who can do that as effectively as Carlton Davis, that's going to be, I think, more tricky. Whereas an interior defensive lineman, you can squeeze the ends, you can fill in some of the lanes with the linebackers, etc. We'll have to wait and see today what happens with the injury report. But I do like Broderick Martin. I think I mentioned that after last week's performance. And Adams, I thought, really did well last week. Robert, greetings, doers. Back at you. JDC, Tree of Destiny is a thumbs up. I'll go with that. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Not that it matters, but I see one report saying Goff threw for 507 yards, while another shows 494. And you know which is correct. Praying for our injured players. I don't know which one is correct. I know he had about 500 yards. That's all I can tell you. If somebody knows the official stat line, I guess put it in the comment section. Good morning, Duke Crew. AG holds a lot of responsibility for this. He got away from the blitz. Allen had all the time in the world to throw. Yeah, it really caught me off guard. I just think you look at your strengths, you look at your weaknesses as far as because of injuries or just personnel. The fact that you weren't sending 6 guys, 7 guys after him the majority of the time. Yeah, I've already gone on a rant about it, so I'm not going to do it again. Moving on. All right, Brother Ken, greetings, salutations. Duke Crew from the Mile High City. Good to see you this morning, my friend. Hopefully it is a great start to your day. Jessica, if we don't play better defense than that, how far do we really go in the playoffs? You're going to put a lot of stress on one side of the ball, the offense, obviously, like you did yesterday. My guess is they'll figure some things out. You got some smart coaches in Detroit. They're all going to figure some things out. Plus, was it in another week or two or something like that? You'll get Anzalone back. Perhaps you get other players back, and maybe that will help the situation. Troy D, great game yesterday. Came up short. I blame our offensive line for not establishing a running game. We do that. We limit the Bills' offense. Correct. Goff played great. We finally got exposed for having third and fourth stringers. Yeah, 100% there. And I think you're spot on with that. Somebody finally was able to make us pay for all those injuries on one side of the ball. Now, with that being said, you look at the Bills and what they have. They do have more than likely the MVP quarterback. I mean, if you had to build a prototypical quarterback in today's NFL, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are probably going to be basically the samples you use. Big, strong, huge howitzer arm quarterbacks that can run around and extend plays. And to be honest, the Lions did limit him at times, except when he got out of containment. Some of the ends collapsed inside too much or pinched inside too much and gave up that outside lanes. Is what it is, man, at this point. But yeah, getting that Lions running game fixed, to me, that would be priority number one, because I think every game the rest of the year, teams are going to try to take that away, and now you're just going to further exacerbate stress and pressure on that passing attack. Big and Green, salutations. You were right about that, Coach D. Coach Dan pointed that out yesterday, and I hadn't thought about it. Our running game hasn't been good in a month. No, it's been very limited. People have done a real good job exposing some of the holes in our game. Trady, last time we won, we went on a 11-game win streak. Think about that. Let's do that, because you know what? That would put us into next season and make us Super Bowl champs. Brother Ken, Coach Dan, do you think we may have a problem with strength and conditioning, or our defenders playing with reckless abandon? It's my opinion only, and there's no way for me to confirm it, Brother Ken, but it would be my opinion right now. In the offseason, you're probably going to see some changes to the conditioning staff, the strength and conditioning staff, in regards to the defensive side of the ball. Now, I'm going to take something from the GF here, Jen, and I agree with her on it. You got people working out a lot. This is one thing. Any team I've coached, football, basketball, volleyball, whatever, soccer, you can do weight training and all that, but you also have to keep flexibility training into your athletes. So basically, muscles don't get too tight. They're still allowed to, expand and contract easily. And it's just my opinion. I don't have any supporting evidence of this, but in my opinion, the Lions probably on the defensive side of the ball need to spend more time doing just that, making sure you are helping those bodies extend, stretch, etc., keep their flexibility. Because you look at a lot of the injuries, they are very similar. And that's why I'm thinking those muscles have been so exacerbated from this, that, the other thing, from the sport itself, let alone the weight training conditioning, they're not getting enough recovery and enough blood flow, enough stretching, except, I mean, I spent all day on this, but that's where I see a repeated problem with it. So could be wrong, but that's what I would anticipate the Lions this offseason will be looking at that. Detroit D, we got beat at our on our own bully game. Yeah, 100%. Bully ball, yeah, they did do just that. A lot of credit, though, does need to go to that Bills offensive line. We talked about it during the show or the broadcast of the game. They've got a pretty good one, and they know how to use it. And it's just why I was so surprised we never used some of their plays against them. But to each their own. Brent, good morning, Dan and crew. I kept waiting to see some schematic blitzes yesterday, but didn't happen. Shake my head. Yeah, you're not the only one, man. It's just you've got speed out there. You've got to utilize your speed. We do not currently, in my opinion, have a defensive line or a linebacking core that can out-muscle people. So you have to use your strengths against their weaknesses, I guess is how I would term it. And the fact that we just lined up and said, hey, you do what you want, we're going to react to it, that means you're always reacting and not being pro-assertive, aggressive, trying to set the tempo. And, you know, it's easy for me to be up in the stands or whatever, commenting on what we shouldn't have done. I was just very surprised we didn't do more different things to utilize our strengths versus their weaknesses. Trey, what's up, Duke crew? Question mark. We dropped one. Now don't let one become two. Spoken like a true coach. Henry Moore, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke crew. What a game! Exclamation point. What a channel! Exclamation point. Now it's time to onto the Teddies. Yeah. Then the 40 Winers. There we go. I like that. The Teddies and the 40 Winers. And good morning to you, Henry Moore. Tori Apple, as bad as we played yesterday, we still only lost by 6 points. Everyone take a deep breath. Correct. This is true. Brother Ken, when your opposition runs for 200 yards and has 400 yards through the air and no sacks, that's playing with fire, and that can be fatal. Yes, indeed. We did not limit, like I said, anything they did or wanted to do. JDC, once the team figures out that the first half of the games also count, they'll be fine. Let's hope they figure that out today then. Detroit D, everyone acting like we just lost in the playoffs. We just got a friendly reminder. I think MCDC will get our guys refocused for the Super Bowl run. Yeah, I think you're 100% right, and I pray you are right. France, I'm choosing to look at the bright side. Our receiving core is very balanced. Tim Patrick has really helped us take things to another level, in your opinion. I think you're right. Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, I mean, everybody for the Detroit Lions on a receiving standpoint had a game yesterday. Even David Montgomery, etc., and James Williams. I mean, we did whatever we wanted passing. We just couldn't ever balance out things. Man Bear, good morning, all. We are not celebrating Victory Monday, but at least the Lions are 12-2. Oh, it's on to the next. Yes, exclamation point. Let's Scooby-Doo this. I agreed with that for 100%, my friend. So Scott, 12-2, about to turn that into 13-2, and then 14-2. Keep the pressure on the Vikings. I like the way you're thinking. Detroit D, do you think if we score right after the half and tie the game at 21, maybe we can continue to try and run the ball? Probably. I know I mentioned it yesterday during the live cast. There was one point, I think we're down 21-14 in like a couple minutes right before halftime. It's like 3rd and 10, and Goff, I mean, it's that close to being a completion to St. Brown, just off his fingertips. St. Brown catches that. He's running for a while. I don't think he would have scored a touchdown, but I do think the Lions would have went into the half tied at 21 ultimately. And really at that point, I mean, you survived that horrible first half. It's even, but unfortunately, that catch didn't happen. We didn't score, and now you're constantly in makeup mode. I mean, I want to say there was one point in the third quarter we were down like 17 or 21 or something like that, but the Lions did make a game of it. Brother Ken, it's not time to push the panic button, but we need to not let our running game have a total of 48 yards. We need to fix that ASAP. No, I agree. And again, I've already kind of talked about it, so I won't dive into deeply, but to me, that's got to be priority number one this week for the Detroit Lions. You've got to help that defense out. They do not have the personnel currently to just man up and go after people and shut people down. I would say this as coach, it's not a realistic expectation that we're going to hold somebody to under 20 points at this point. So you got to control the clock to help them out, but you also need to help that offensive line out. It's a lot easier on them going forward than it is constantly pass blocking, although pass blocking may be more their strength, as hard it is for me to say this, than run blocking. JDC Susan Scott, thumbs up. Let's see, Jeremiah, it's time to start asking questions about the conditioning program. I agreed. Because we have Aleem and Carlton out for the season and potentially a banged up Dave Montgomery. This is getting embarrassing now. Now you can see teams that make consistent deep runs, playoff runs, etc. You can see the wear and tear on those bodies. One thing I would say, and again, this is off-season stuff. I know Bo always mentions rotation in the comment section, but the Lions with their defensive line and maybe a lot other spots, you're going to have to develop a lot more of a rotation. It's just the season is so long. The NFC North is such a strong division too. I think you need to constantly be thinking about early in the season, the long-term season, and keeping I'd probably try to get a 10-person rotation on that defensive line just to try to take some snap counts away from guys and try to keep them fresher throughout longer in the season. Jason, let's go Bears tonight. I'm a Bears fan for the night. Detroit D, all we can do is focus on Detroit Lions football. We control our future. Correct. You win out. You go 3-0. You are the number one seed, and you win the North. I think you're spot on with that, man. Lone Wolf, hey, talk about someone I haven't seen in a minute. Good to see you, my friend. For me, it's not the loss, it's how we lost. Agreed with that. Lions look so flat in the first, and obviously no defense. Injuries are adding up. Yeah, the injuries are unavoidable at this point. You can't talk about the team without talking about them. Detroit D, football is a violent game. Jeremiah, you're not wrong, my friend. Let's see, JDC, lots of variables in the game of football. Correct with that. Detroit D, last year we almost had no injuries. Yeah, that's true. So has something changed, or is it just the players have gotten older, or is it just a culmination of all those games on those bodies, and now you're starting to see some wear and tear? See, Detroit D, thanks, JDC. Stephanie, you're right, Detroit D. Some of the younger players are now going to have to step up quickly. 100%. Yeah, you can't worry about it, can't cry about it. What do we have to do to get you ready to perform and perform at a high level? See, Rob, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan Dooku, 12-2. Lions are still the grooviest, Daddy. I like the way you're thinking. Rob, even Wayne Shorter threw up a claim once in a while. Okay, I'll go with that. Brother Ken, I'm seriously following the NFL for 53 years, and I've never seen a team so banged up, ever. The fact that it's, and again, all on one side of the ball, to me, that's kind of the eyebrow raise, I guess. JDC, tick, 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 it's woo time. Yes, it is. Jeremiah, I want to hold out hope for this defense is not playoff strong. We might need to get healthy and try for a Super Bowl next year. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get that this year. Rob, woo, I'll go with that. Detroit D, we got beat in the trenches, plain and simple. No, you're not wrong. They own the ground, which set up the pass. We really could only pass the ball. Lauren, good morning, coach and crew. Getting a bunch of stuff for the loss. It happens, man. People have been waiting for 3 months for us to lose. We finally lost one. They're going to unload. Let's see, Pierce. Well, Aaron Donald, what are you up to? Let's see if they make that call, 100%. Jason, Dorsey gone. McNeil and Davis are also likely out for the year. Offense is keeping us alive. Prayer for health. Yeah, I want to find out because I get what I think what is going on with McNeil. And if it ends up happening, then yeah, he's probably out for a bit. Davis, though, with the jaw injury, man, I want to know just for selfish reasons what's going on there. It's not like I'm questioning the guy or anything, but what the heck happened with his helmet on that messed up his jaw so much? I guess I don't know. Jeremiah, Detroit D, are you bro? But recovery is critical, man. Yeah, they're going to need some bariatric chambers or something. Donkey Kong, hey, you haven't seen him in a minute. Holy bejesus, we got whooped from the whistle. We did, and we still only lost by 6. Trumps, I never like AG. Hope he gets a promotion. We'll see what happens. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Ducru. It will be all right. The sky isn't falling. No, I think most of us anticipated the Lions were going to lose a game or 2 this year. So we got those out of the way. Troy D. Goff showed he's not a civilian yesterday. No, and again, I know we've been talking about this for most of the season now. He's become a bit of a mobile quarterback. He is extending plays. He's never going to be Josh Allen or whoever, or, Lamar Jackson, or hell, Mike McMahon. He's never going to be Mike McMahon, if you guys remember him. But you know what? He is getting out of the pocket. He is running from time to time. He is also extending plays and allowing receivers to go open. So he's becoming a pretty dang good quarterback. Mike the Marine Gunny, woo! I'll go with that. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I hope you are right, my friend. Francisco, what do you got? The injuries caught up with this team. It's really that simple. Yeah, I think you're spot on, man. you've had so many injuries on that defense. And then on top of it, you face one of the better offenses in the league. They took advantage of that. So, all right, Bill, McNeil, Davis, and Dorsey are done for the year, and so are we. Okay, just way too many injuries to overcome at this point. It's been a good run. All right, well, let's hope that they can continue the run. Let's see, Miles Martin, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. It's a ouch Monday. You're not wrong, man. We're going to need more than Band-Aids and Mountain Dew, probably. Although I would go with Mountain Dew over the Band-Aid. Man, this fly is attacking me. Rob, a wonderful greetings, salutations to everyone in YouTube land. Hit it, boys. A 1 and a 2. There you go. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all those buttons. I'm trying to concentrate while I'm being dive bombed by a erroneous fly. Doggone, it's going to be tough with Aleem and Davis. Yeah, without those two. Yeah. That's a breaking point, exclamation point. Like we can win games, but not against teams like say Philly. You're going to have to Scooby-Doo some things and, trust the coaching staff that the longer they have to adjust things, some of these other guys step up. To me, Carlton Davis is probably out of those two, and it's no disrespect to Lee McNeil. I just think from a schematic standpoint, you can replicate him easier than he can as much man-to-man coverage as AG wants to play Carlton Davis. R gave up 70 points last 6 quarters. Hey, that's a few, isn't it? Let's see, JDC. Woo! I'll go with that. Paul, if we can get our defense healthy, we'll have nothing to worry about. It's just getting them healthy. That's the big thing. Let's all pray for some good news with the injured guys today. Rob, yes, time to worry. Preseason, I said injuries was our biggest threat to a Super Bowl. I think we can still make a run, but we are near our breaking point. That onside kick was desperation. I think we all agree that was probably a little bit of an eyebrow raised with 12 minutes to go. Jamal 7 Mile Dog, football gods, please help our Lions. Let's hope they can, man, because you know what? Right now, we'll take all the advantages we can get. See, Spoken Wheels, SOL fans, could be. Hookadoo, Miles Martin, I wish it was a victory Monday. I think we all do. Let's hope we get it next week. See, Derek, good morning, coach and crew. What the heck was that onside kick down 10 with 12 minutes left? That bonehead move lost MCDC the coach of the year for sure. Might be. We'll see. San Francisco, how many key guys done for the year? Man, I've lost count, man. If somebody's got the actual number, throw it in the comments section. Rocky, good morning. After these few years with AG, still not sold on him. There is a reason he hasn't been offered a head coaching job yet, and Ben has, but we will recover from this loss. Yes, we will recover. And you know what? Learn from it. Don Kong, Lions don't have time to waste starting to run the ball against 9-man boxes. Just coach in the moment and pass the freaking ball open. Yeah. And again, I won't do a 12-hour episode on it, but yesterday that first drive, 2nd and 10, when they have 10 guys in the box, like I had to go back and watch that replay of that. I was like, there's got to be somebody. Maybe my math is wrong. There's got to be somebody up high, but no, legit. They've got one guy on the receiver out wide or tight end out wide in that case, and then everybody else in the box. They were as loaded up against the run as you could, and we still ran at it. The fact that we didn't get out of that set, wow, I was surprised. JDC Puff, woo, coffee and Lions Talk Live. Who doesn't love it? Rob, it's not same old line. It's common sense that we are in trouble. Okay, I'll go with that. Troy D, we are going to finish the season strong, 3-1. I like the way you're thinking. Big D, Morning Dew crew, we got beat the Hex up yesterday, exclamation points. We have 0 chance of the Super Bowl with our defense. We are too hurt to beat the good teams. We'll see. Spoken Wheels, we are fine. We'll be fine. Stupid SOL fans, all right? Reversed into the mean. Good to see you. It has been a minute. We watched the top 2 offenses carve up the other's defense. You're not wrong there. Yeah, the Bills are going to have the same problems we are if their defense doesn't get healed up. They're just going to have to outscore everybody like we will. Big D, we need to heal up more than anything else. Correct with that. Rob, that's not very respectful. I'll concur. Detroit D, our offensive line has to carry this team come playoff time. It does, man. And again, not going to go into it deeply, but I would be looking at replacing Graham Glasgow. It's no disrespect to the guy. I just think Father Time's done him dirty, and you've got to get somebody in there that at least has a strength. My problem with Glasgow is I don't see a strength pass protection nor run blocking. And that's a problem. He is the weak link on that line. I think the rest of the guys are pretty dang good. But then again, you got to have somebody who's clearly better than him. And I don't know if they do. See, Spoken Wheels, I'm not a respectful person. Fair enough. Rick, Where was Mosley and Broderick Martin? They were both deactivated for the game. My guess is they will both be active, though, next week. Gun guy, same old Lions fans, been waiting all season for this, laughing out loud. Go back to your holes, okay? Let's see, Rob, obviously, you should be kicked, okay? Celine, 313. Now, talking about somebody I haven't seen in a minute, that's you. We're back at the point where the players don't match the scheme. Too many starters out. It's like having our defense of last year. Yeah, and that's where I think you're going to have to make some adjustments. Yeah, I get what you want to do is what you want to do. But if you don't, as you're pointing out, don't have the parts to justify that, you're going to have to figure something else out. Let's see, Francisco, this is the same Lions, but injuries are too much to overcome at this point. Fair enough. Spoken Wheels, we have lost 2 games all season. It's going to be okay. You know, I do believe you are correct. There were, like a few other teams have only lost 2. All right, JDC, reversion to the mean, true that. Big D, it's not the same Lions by Miles, but friends, Miles friends, but I speak facts. We are beat up. We are beat up. Don't beat anyone. This hurt Bills just showed all others how to beat us. We'll see if they can repeat it. Ken got to get back to dominating the line of scrimmage. Again, both sides of the ball. Correct. Own the trenches. I agree with that. Thomas, AG's scheme was absolutely terrible. You couldn't go basic defense against Josh Allen. Yeah, I think with someone like Josh Allen or somebody who's really explosive, and there's a few quarterbacks in the league that hit that probably mark, you've got to pick your poison. You can't give them everything to work with because they're just going to carve you alive. Let's see, Million C, I am nervous. Defense needs to get healthy. They do indeed, my friend. Good morning to you. Detroit D, hit that like button. Yes, if you guys can, hit the like and subscribe button, por favor. And thank you for that, Detroit D. Spoken Wheels, Tampa showed everyone how to beat us too. Ain't no thing. Correct. Dunk Kong. Yeah, it's not the same old Lions. It's just losing Liam and Davis on top of so many other starters on D that aren't coming back. Just not going to work against really good teams. So you might be right. Might be. Let's hope they can figure something out. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Jeremiah, I hate to say it, but the trade deadline should have traded Hendon Hooker to get Myles Garrett, especially with Aleem out for the season. Yeah, hey, I think we tried, just didn't work out. Rob, morning, Phil. Stay winning. Take away that super suspicious onside kick. Lions give themselves a true fighting chance. Might be true. San Francisco 12-2 isn't amazing. I'm not concerned about the loss, but the injuries are past breaking point. We can say next man up all we want, but the talent drops off, eventually becomes insurmountable. Yeah, you're spot on. Dunk Kong. Hendon Hooker has zero value to this day and the near future. Could be. Thomas, I would rest Frank Ragnow this next game. Playing with a torn pec, needs to rest up for the playoffs. I do wonder how that muscle is at this point. Just based on the film from yesterday, etc. Jeremiah, looking up, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. James, I think there is something unsaid going on with Ragnow. He got bullied by Oliver basically the whole game. He did, man. He did. He got him and Glasgow. Reversion to the mean. For the cocky Bills fans, yes, it's fun to win, but I would not be that excited about beating carved up 500 yards passing and multiple 70-yard drives in 2 minutes. Correct. Let's see, Trey, rise and shine to the Duke Crew. Running game has to be better. I concur. The defense is what it is at this point. Correct. Yeah, you're going to be limited. They have to control the clock to win in the playoffs, and it's the way it's shaping up. I think you're spot on with that. Dr. Detroit, these guys looked rusty or just beat up. Maybe a little bit of both. Don Kong Ragnow got destroyed, but you know that happens sometimes. It does, man. It does. Miles Martin, same sweetness last night. Goff ran for first down this week. Made sure to get there this time. Good old crazy legs. You know, he is, again, not to keep going on it, but he is having obviously developed that aspect of his game. Eddie's Fish, I see the Lions losing the number 1 seed, and I see that the Lions is not going to the Super Bowl because the defense stinks, and they are injured on defense. I love the Lions like everybody else, but it's reality. Okay, Thomas, the NFC is going down to the wire. Yes, it is. 3 weeks to go. Derek, I still think Detroit or Philly will win the Super Bowl. You could be right, my friend. Could be right. Don Kong, Eddie's Fish, that's actual reality. Okay. Ken, our O-line has definitely taken a couple of steps backwards. They are the heartbeat of this team. Yeah, and again, to me, I'd be looking at Glasgow, but again, I don't see the other guys. So is anybody you're going to bring in better than Glasgow? That's the tough part. See, Thomas Glasgow is getting tuckered on a regular basis. Yeah, he is. He's getting trucked. Excuse me. Detroit D, teams have 2 seasons of film on our running game. BJ has to figure it out. Yeah, he's going to have to make some adjustments. Yeah, T.O., 100%. Eric, those December Flyers are relentless. So we'll go with that. Let's see. December Flies, excuse me. Yeah. Thankfully, he seems to have left the screen at the moment. Stay winning offense will have to put up caps from now on to the end of the road, and I'm no longer convinced they will overcome. We'll see. Rob, I think we still have a chance, but it's getting bleaker. We definitely can still win the division, maybe the 1 seed, but it's going to be hard in the playoffs to go all the way. Correct with that. Brandon, do fly, don't bother me. That fly, thankfully, is dewed off. Vape, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke crew. Woo! Super Bowl is getting closer. I said before the season started 15-2, looking like I might be right. Let's hope you are right, my friend. Freddie, good morning. I'm not worried. We will bounce back. I like the way you're thinking. Art, how about that Skipper touchdown? Hey, good for him, man. Good for him. He's had a heck of a journey in the NFL. Donkon, Lions did need to lose before the playoffs. You need to that taste. It's losing McNeil and Davis that might just be the killer. Yeah, I'm hoping, really hoping Davis will be okay. McNeil, obviously I want them both to be okay, but Davis with a jaw injury, I'm hoping they can figure that out. Miles Margaret, reality equals many injuries in 2 games lost. The rest is speculation, not reality. Fair enough. Detroit D, we are still the team to beat in the NFC. Correct with that. The stay winning defense is done so even with a healthier Hutch. All right. Let's see. Jeremiah, Ben Johnson has been subpar for a few weeks. Now the play calling has been terrible. Shout out to Jared Goff for holding it down. Yeah, I think Goff this season, man. I mean, I get the Houston game. You take away those 5 picks. But if you take away that one game, man, he is having a massive season. Derek, why was Dorsey even in the game? Somebody's got to play, man. Remember, Carlton Davis was out, so he went out early in the second quarter. You got to put somebody in. Don Kong, when the reality sets in, you will get it. There you go. Let's see. Marcus, good morning, Fly. Dan in D.C. Exclamation point. Let's push through this season. And speaking of the Fly, he just returned onto the light. Ken, Ragnow had a rough game against Oliver. Yeah, Oliver had a heck of a game. Phil, all these broken bones were friendly fire. Hutch, Alonzo, and now Dorsey. Correct. It was. Stay winning. Dunzo. So, not done so. Okay. Francisco, Ali McNeil definitely tore one of the 4 ligaments in his knee. Yeah, we'll see what they find out about that. Thoughts and prayers that it's not that serious, but we'll see. Rob, losing the game isn't the problem. It's losing the players. Correct with that. Detroit D, if Davis is out, Mosley and Rakeshaw have to step up. I agree with that. Next man up mentality. Henry Moore, ding, ding, Don Kong, you are absolutely correct. All right. Brother Ken, broken jaw, problematic because you can't eat solid food for 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, you are probably correct with that. 100% right. Jeremiah, AG didn't scheme anything for the Bills. His ignorance caused the struggles for the defense. That head coaching run got pushed to next year. Maybe 100%. Jeremiah, is David Montgomery okay? Question mark. He hurt himself too. He went back in the game, so at least I can say he was good enough to go back in. We'll have to see what happens with him. Eddie's Fish, I believe that until things change on defense, the Lions will not be in the Super Bowl. And I said this as a Lions fan for years. I never get my hopes up because of what I saw yesterday. Fair enough. Francisco, bring Patrick Peterson in. They probably are going to have to look at bringing somebody in. C times C, Mosley and Rakestraw are fragile trash. It might be. Miles Mario Hookadoo, morning bra, tough loss, but I'm still thinking Lions should not be counted out. How about you? Yes, I wouldn't count them out. All right, guys, just because there's like 6 minutes left and I'm so far behind in the comment section, I'm going to power through and try to get some people who haven't been on as much yet. Let's see, JP, come on. It's one game. Let's not jump off the cliff. Let's not do that. Jeremiah, should we move Brian Branch corner? He is a corner by position ability and played with Terrion Arnold. They're probably going to have to look at some differences. I think, to your point, the safety room is pretty deep. You might be able to help out the corner room by having Branch go up there a little bit. All right, Big D, don't think we should ever think we can't win, because if we can, but if we don't get some people back, we'll be toast. Fair enough. Phil, Jack Campbell got smoked. Yeah, a lot of people got smoked yesterday. We gave up 600 yards or something like that. Rob, next man up is great, but you run out of men eventually. You do indeed. D Dunk, no doubt Glenn is the biggest reason we lost. Could be true. JP, it's a bad game. It happens. Brother Ken, Phil, dude, got smoked like a West Virginia ham. All right, I'll go with that. Cody, it was terrible. I really hope we get a head coaching job. AG gets a head coaching job just because I think we get compensation for him leaving. Fair enough. D-Dunk, that's definitely my big takeaway from this game. Bad game plan, no adjustments made throughout the game. I was really surprised coming out of the half we didn't make some other adjustments. Reversion to the mean, there is done per se, but they're not done per se, but a wake-up call. Not good as we thought on defense, injuries aside, and not an excuse. Offense, yes, they are best in the NFL. Correct with that. James, the ends weren't keeping contained. Correct. Or when they did, no one patrolled the middle of the field. Yes, correct with that. Jared Allen caused a lot of missed tackles as well. Correct with that. Thomas McNeil is a MCL possible tear, not ACL. So I guess that would be okay, but probably still done for the year. Brent, I hate it when we lose by getting out coached. Yeah, it happens, my friend. I think every coach has been there. Let's see. Hookadoo. Miles Meyer, we went out the rest of the year. Let's make that happen. Jeremiah, on a positive side, I did say if we play the Bills in the Super Bowl, we obviously absolutely win. I concur with your assessment. Trim Reaper couldn't get behind onside kick with 12 minutes. No, I think a lot of us were against that. Here's Johnny. The linebackers got shredded and the D line was soft. Lions laid down and took the L on to Chicago. Yep, got to move on now. See, Keith, what's up? Exclamation point. We learned a lot about our team. Exclamation point. Better now than the playoffs. Still 12-2 and first and in control of our own destiny. We know what you have to work on. Get it done, coach. Correct. Truer words couldn't have been spoken. Dimitri, McNeil is done. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're probably right with that. Frank, is Brad Holmes going to practice squad poaching again? Probably going to have to a certain degree. Big D, Newsom nailed it 100%. I feel offensive weapon, Dan Skipper. Yeah, I got to get that into the thing now. Derek, what's up with Mosley? Question mark, did he play at all? No, he was inactive for the game, so he'll be active. My guess is the rest of the year. Cody, yeah, Phil, Romo was getting on my nerves yesterday. I think he was getting on a lot of people's nerves. Keith, loves Skipper scoring. Me too, man. Me too. Let's see. Thomas, seriously, have to consider replacing Glasgow at guard. Ragnow is injured and having to compensate for Glasgow. We are getting trucked in the middle of the line. Yes, we are. And again, you got to have somebody the coaching staff feels is better. That's the hard part. Stay winning. Hit that like button. Thank you for that, for putting that out there. Dimitri, Tony Romo needs to be silent. He is the worst. Fair enough. Benjamin, whoa, what was that? Question mark. 10 down, 12 minutes left. Onside kick. Yikes! Exclamation point. That TD was the difference. It ended up being the difference 100%. Rob, if it was like a family, someone would shout, "You're not my real dad," and storm off when MCDC asked them to do something. Might be true. Rob laughing. Thomas, get Anzalone and Maben back, possibly iffy, and Rakestraw by the playoffs. Correct with all the above. Spoken Wills, Bills game meant nothing. No, ultimately in the end of the day, other than the injuries, we're still in the same position. We still control our own fate. Phil, is Mahomes so good? Allen can't beat him in big games? Hey, we'll find out. Thomas Davis is a fractured jaw. Man, it's unfortunate, man. Let's hope he can get through it, though. We'll see. Anyways, Rocky M, there's a lot of chalkboard material for this game. Just hope the coaches use it. Agreed. Michael, when we get our 32nd pick in the first round in 2025, we draft somebody with no injury history. Handrails included. There you go. Big D, Rocky M, they will. I'll concur. Detroit Grit. Phil, our receiver could have won this game easily if the defense showed up. We could have won this game easily. We couldn't stop nothing. They did. You're not wrong. Motown, 496 yards for golf. Thanks for that. Spoken Wheels, the game meant nothing. We are in the playoffs. We are. Pierce, what are Patrick Peterson and Aaron Donald doing these days? Let's hope they make some calls. All right, Sarge, good morning, Dan, Duke Crew. We got beat by a better game plan and team. Exclamation point. Not a questionable team and a plan like the Bears. Go Lions. I'm down with that. All right, guys, man, I'm not going to be able to make it through all the comments today where I'm just too far behind. Phil, where was J-Mo in the second half? This was coaching win for the Bills. J-Mo, I think, caught a couple passes in the second half. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Well, tell Mitch, where does AG get that job? We'll find out. Lauren, we still put 42 on the Bills defense. We did. Thomas, coaching was a problem yesterday. I am not impressed with AG. He has proven time and time again that he can't stop a mobile quarterback. If Anthony Richardson or Kyle Murray had been better, actually, we'd have lost. Could be true. Pierce. How about that? Phil, how far would Lions fall in power rankings? Who knows, man? We'll see. Let's see. Looking for some other people. True Grit. Good God morning. We will do better next time. Yesterday is done. Correct. Move on to the next game now. Jeff, time for some mandatory yoga? It might be true. Burns, I thought our defense would lose this game, but that's okay with our injuries. Let's get health, then play them again and see who wins. Agreed with that. All right, looking for a few final ones who haven't been on. I hate we pick up Carlton Davis. He is good, but he stays getting hurt. He was like that in Tampa Bay. Can't stay on the field. He might be right on that. I'm not as familiar with him in Tampa Bay. Boo, if it wasn't for the onside kick and Bates missed field goal, we could have won that game. Where's our defense who stops all game? Come on. Yeah, defense did not do well, and you were correct on the other stuff. J-Mo dropped a perfectly thrown touchdown pass. He did do that. You are correct. Spoken Wheels, Arnold has been fine. He's a rookie. Cornerback is the hardest position to start in the NFL. Give him, some slack, man. 100%. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says Super Bowl. Heck yeah, I'll go with that. Thailand chief assistant, Lions will never win a Super Bowl under Campbell. Enough said. Been saying that for years now. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's see. Look for some other people that have been on. Mike 505. Offense needs to find the groove from the beginning. Can't afford to play from behind. Not with the injuries we have on defense. Can't sign previous injured players. Correct. Let's see. D-Dunk. All right. It wasn't smart to kick onside, but there was it wasn't that costless. Okay. Thomas, unless the Eagles suffer injuries, we are not beating them or the Rams or Green Bay again. Okay. We'll go with that. Let's see. T-Bones. If AG's defense, the Bills exploit that they're running back in a mismatch receiving out of the backfield. Also, defenses are scheming to disrupt our offensive line's timing. Correct. Paul, honestly, the injury issue could just purely be a freak season type of deal. Could be we haven't changed a thing in getting ready. It was just how the dice rolled this year. Yeah, could be 100% with that. All right, 2 or 3 more, and then I'm out of here. JDC, Dre Ford's rocks, and he is clearly rolling. Let's see, Michael, by no means do I think better team won that game. We're losing guys every game this season for some odd reasons. Correct with that. Thomas, Pierce Sargent laughing. Ransom, Dan Skipper, offensive weapon. Hey, he knew what was coming. Derek, the fly is like Josh Young. Yeah, he's all over the place, man. George, I believe St. Brown is playing injured, and J-Mo is not focusing, but I still love our team. Woo! I'll go with that. Paul, Spy Fly, Kamikaze Fly. Yes, he is coming at me, man, big time. Anybody else? I'm looking for somebody who has been on. Looking, Ryan, this is nothing but motivation. Might be truth, not laughers. Just same old Lions fans need to change their mindset. This was the best game to lose if there was a best to lose. Pump the brakes on the same old Lions crap. One pride. I concur with all the above. JD next, it's one loss. Detroit will figure it out. Hopefully AG can make some game adjustments. Let's hope so. Keegan, what do you got? We should be okay. We just have to win out. Correct with that. Walt, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Great Lakes, good morning, all. Rough day. We ragged on Ted Bruschi for picking on Campbell all week. That one-side decision made him look right. Most questionable call of the year. Might be true. Brian, I love our coaches, but when they are going to learn, it will cost jobs at some point. Not one person gets a pass on that defense besides Smith. Okay, I'll go with that. All right, let's see. Corey, what up? Maybe they should get J-Mo more and people. What does AG have to work with the guys as a bad game and people turn on him? I would just hate to play for this team. Fair enough. Let's see. Corey, with that, players does have to work with people act like we have the Steelers defense. Correct. Yeah, there's a big difference. Eric, this was our game for the taking. I'm not mad at all. Just showed me what we still needs work. Correct. We need some work. All right. Coaching by Tanya. Hey, Duke Crew, we will be all right. Exclamation point. Decent as. All right. The Great Lakes. Time to try some rookies next week. Might just do that. All right, guys, if there is breaking news today, I'll get over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind, before you check out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?